the sound is working. And let me... Alright, how's the sound for you guys? Good? Perfect. I know it was switching between the stupid speaker and then... speaker and then the microphone, so just glad I got it going here. Alright, I'm gonna post this invite here in the chat just so people can hop in here. Just give me 1 second. All right. Got quiet this afternoon too after the morning. Oh yeah. She I feel bad for Andrea. She always wants to hop in, but work pulls her away. So I guess for now it's just you and me, JT, just hanging out till we get some more action here. I know those what were the RKLBs that you had? I kind of want to take a peek at them again. I don't really want to go back and look through the chat for them. The CRCLs aren't, those are pumping today too, aren't they? CRCL pumping. Jeez, what price did you get in for a share? Oh, I don't want to. Oh, yeah, you're happy. You're happy. Oh, just IPO'd yesterday? Yeah, because no options yet. Lilu, what's up? Welcome. Can't believe market's been, I mean, just kind of choppy since the open. I mean, you had that little pullback, but it's kind of chopping now. Happy Friday, finally. I was looking at some of these SPY puts, and I mean, that's so far out of the money where I'm like, coming in here. I mean, that SPY put premium has been up, so I'm kind of curious what happens there. Holdings not matching it, though. Interesting what happens. I mean, there's been a lot of SPY puts today. I know, JT, I was looking at the Gamma today. We were negative pre-market too, but big pop after that data. I am waiting to see some hop in here. Specific contract at all, Lilu, on that, or the one that came in a little bit earlier, I believe. The 626 call. Let's take a peek. So right away I can see that ask and bid side, but I mean that overall net call premium's up. So obviously I'm not a big fan of trading anything under $10 because it's such a slow mover, but I just want to check to see where this other volume came in here. Okay, so I think all this volume was today. I just want to look. Okay, so we had volume yesterday too. Or not yesterday, Wednesday. So 11,000. So it looks like, almost looks like this could be an ad here. I mean, obviously we'd have to check that open interest on Monday, but let's take a peek at the raw flow here. Take off that time. Let's see if I can get to that ask side. Let's see. Hold on. We'll start at this bid side that came in. So IV kind of decreases there. I want to see if I can find this ask side part here. So 1 second. Come here and I won't remove that time filter. Yeah, it looks like this is just all kind of mixed in here. We don't have, like, it's not showing a repeated hit or anything. Nope, I lied. I knew it was going to do it right when I said that. Alright, so let's come down here and look. Okay. So I'm seeing a drop in IV here. I don't like that, obviously. Then kind of coming back up here. So 10, 20. Okay, so this is, I'm going to say this is all probably part of the same trade, just because it's so close to the timing. I'm just going to say it is. We'll see here. So, okay, let's see. So IV pops here. Drops a little bit. Drops in there. I'm just looking at the size, so it's popping on the good size there. And that's tough because you're coming in at 23 there. I mean, that's almost a mid-fill. That's really tough. Let's see, IV pops again, 50 contracts, so IV drops there then. Yeah, this one, when that IV is kind of all over the place, it makes it a little tough. And I mean, you're seconds apart here too, so I mean, we can assume this is the same trader. And then, I mean, you have some of that IV dropping there. Yeah, I mean, that's a little tougher one there. I'd probably pass on it, especially with it being up 20% on the day. But we can also do this. Let me get a new tab in here. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. Let's see, RXRX. Pop this over here too. Alright, I just want to see what else we got going on here too. I mean, you're seeing a lot of ask side volume here. Not, so a little multi-leg there. I mean, I'd probably lean towards them being buys just with all this ask side call volume coming in here. That specific contract a little tougher just because of that IV that was kind of bouncing around there, but and that IV, I mean, that IV is massive there. Let's see what else I can look up here. Let's see. Oops, come back in here. Karma, what's up? Let's see. I wanted to look at the gamma here. I mean, that daily gamma is pretty up there, and so now, yeah, I mean, that gamma's been spiking. You could see a little more come up here. I'd probably lean with those being buys, but I mean, that's so tough just with that IV popping around, but I'd probably lean with those being buys. That daily gamma is just nasty climbing up there too, so that's a good sign if you're bullish on it. And then even kind of coming back here and looking at that overview, I mean, let's just look at the last 14 days. I mean, big spikes in that net call premium. Not really seeing anything put-wise, just a little bit today, but I mean, that call volume's way up there compared to that. So your highest volume contracts got 30,000 on that 620, the original one. That 5 call too. I want to look at that 5 call for you. Yeah, I mean, it might be a if you got some extra cash you want to throw around, it could be a good little lotto play. I just want to see this part here. Yeah, see, like, no, this one I like a little bit better because you have that spike and that IV there, and you're coming in at the ask. So I kind of like that 5 call a little bit more there. So good example there. And Karma and JT, if you guys have anything you want me to pull up too, feel free to just drop it in the chat. Yeah, good find there on RXRX. So, I mean, it's kind of why I like looking at other contracts, too, and checking them out. What are we doing market tide-wise? Yeah, market tide's been tough today. I mean, you're bid side most of the day here. I mean, now seeing, obviously, little ask side calls, but you've been pretty flat all day, and I mean, just kind of bumping this out for the week. You're pretty flat, and that put premium's still kind of up there, so that's something to keep an eye on. A lot of that SPY net put premium here too. Come on. Alright, I'll go in here this way. Looking at LMND, I got you here, Karma. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of that put premium and put volume here on SPY. Something to keep eyes on here. Let's look at LMND now. Let's see. Are you talking about the one that just came in here, Karma, the 71847 call? Perfect. All right, let's take a peek here. Close out some of this other stuff. So, okay, out of the money, 19%. A lot of call volume, up 10% already. Gonna for sure know, I mean, we for sure know this is an opening trade. Let's take a peek at the flow here. So I see a descending fill, but I just want to see where that is actually descending, though. All right, let's come in here. So, all right, starting at the bottom here, right away, see that IV increase, good sign. Good spot coming in there. Okay, so this is where our descending fill is. Thing I look at for that descending fill is where is that being filled? Where is that spot price being filled? You're coming in 1 cent below the ask. Not a huge deal. Then we come up, IV comes back up. Just watching that spot. Okay, so then we technically have an ascending fill here, but since that trade's not really at the same time, you can't consider it that. But from that first whale to the second whale, obviously there's a ascending fill there. And I just want to see where this descending fill is as well on that second batch. So this is why you got to always kind of look at that raw flow feed. I mean, perfect example. You just see that, and if you're just looking like, oh, it's a descending fill, they're selling them at the ask. You got to look at the flow here. So let's take a peek. So again, I see it right here, coming in a cent below that ask. Not a ton of volume, so a good sign there. So that's where it's giving you that descending fill. Spot price coming in here, so 41. So that flow looks good there to me. It would just be depending if you want to chase a stock that's up 10.5%, 42 days. So like something like this, what I always tell people, let me pull up Trading View. So like, you know, this whale's probably a little maybe mid-longer term on these, and these aren't overlapping earnings. So let's take a peek here. LMND. So like something like this, I know they're probably a little longer term. The stock's up 10% on the day. I'm looking for a discounted entry. So like Monday, maybe I'd look for a possible pullback. So like I like to come here, kind of take a peek at the chart. So like, okay, I'm going to draw out my kind of demand zone, and this is going to be kind of a goofier demand zone here because you don't have a good setup. I'm going to pop this actually out to the weekly here. Just want to see where we are. I mean, that weekly almost looks like it's coming in here. Just doing a quick little flag for you. I mean, to me, it looks like you're flagging here on that weekly, and you're breaking out of that flag, broke above that 200-day moving average here. RSI is actually not that overbought here. So, like, let's say you wanted to enter in something like this. What I'd like to do, and obviously $39 a share, you're kind of, I mean, you get a $3 move, it's a huge move. Like this, if I know that whale's a little longer term, I'd almost look for like, I mean, that 200 would be a good spot. Like if you can see a pullback to that 37.07 spot, that'd be a very prime spot. Because if you come in here, okay, let's see. Come in here. I mean, you're obviously breaking above where we've rejected all those other times. And if you come back to that 37, you're going to kind of hit that bottom where it's obviously people have bought but kind of sold off. Little tougher just with it kind of moving that 10% on the day. Let's bump it to the daily here. And I actually honestly like that demand zone a little bit more down in here. But if you're coming down to $36 a share, you're already going to be down another 10%. So a little tougher on that one. But I mean, that chart looked good on the weekly. You're breaking out of that bull flag. I mean, you can just kind of see that lower volume here in that choppy zone. Little lower volume here on the sell-off. Little lower volume here again on that sell-off. And now you see that volume picking up here. But yeah, I mean, it's tougher when it's a kind of slower mover like that. But you have time on those contracts, obviously. And I do want, oh, nope, I don't want to close that. Let's go back in here. I want to see what else we got for that. 1 second. So let's see. Okay, so the put, big neutral flow there. So that was the 7/18/47 call, I believe. Yep. 7/18/47. So you got the 12. Yeah, I mean, you're seeing a lot of bid side stuff kind of coming in here now. Makes it a little tough. 99. So they're probably rolling these, my guess, without looking. Yeah, I mean, a little tougher. Let's just look at premiums here. So, I mean, well, by far, it's a lot of bid side on that 12/19 call, too. Yeah, a little I'd almost wait for a little pullback on that one, something like that. But I do want to come in here and look at another couple things for you. So just kind of coming back, obviously 14 days of net call premium. Not a ton here. And then you just have big spike here on the second. Kind of moved up a little bit. Spikes there, spikes there, spikes here. And your highest volume, so pretty much the same. Your open interest, there's just a lot of bid side flow here. So yeah, I mean, like something like that. I mean, even coming down to this kind of 37.95. Let's go back to the chart here. Like just finding a support spot. I mean, man, I just, it's tough because I don't like where it is on the chart. Like I'd rather see it kind of more in the middle of that zone, like where you can kind of come down here like 33 for support. But you could kind of probably put a little support here at that 35.50. So, good piece of flow there. Good piece of flow. And it's like you always see that flow that's made a pretty big move, and you're like, hey, I want to follow that flow. Let's see, what are we doing market-wise? Just still chopping. I mean, pretty much where we opened. Good, pretty decent volume, 50 mil. I heard a ding. Let's see what just came in. Tesla, 21 days. So right away, I can see that size is about half of today's volume. So let's take a peek. Okay, so they're not closing. I just like to see, especially if there's previous open interest. So some previous open interest there. Let's take a peek at these. So 650,000. So 71, okay, so that IV spikes. So some drops in IV there, but then we spike up again. And you're coming in just a cent below that spot, or before that ask. And then just kind of looking at that overall, and that, oh, well, there goes Tesla. I mean, that call premium's kind of dropping, and there was tons of call volume too, but you got that little spike in that put premium there. Tesla's a tricky one too. I mean, these aren't too far out of the money, but I mean, 14% multi-leg too. Not the biggest fan, but it looks like Tesla's kind of dropping there a little bit, so I kind of want to go take a peek. Well, there goes your little drop in Tesla right there. Humana's running. Let's see. Did SPY drop a little bit? A little pullback in SPY there. Then micro, I like this 280 over the weekend. You're gonna get crushed theta wise on that. I mean, unless MicroStrategy just tanks hard. But we did have, so like, I mean, like something like this, like the MSTR6 13 280 puts. Like this is something where I want to go to my save trades here. So 1 second. Like today we had the MSTR call sells 2.04 million. And I mean, you can see that's where those came in, 454. They're obviously kind of down a little bit, or, well, selling premium's a little different, but I would, like, over the weekend, I mean, anything can happen, but seeing strategy jump probably $12 over the weekend and surviving that theta there, because let's just go take a peek at that. So the 613,385 calls. So 618. Wait a minute. 613,385. 613,385. So I mean, just kind of looking at those calls. I mean, you have 2 days. You're losing $124 on that contract over the weekend if MicroStrategy doesn't even move. So that's like the thing I like about selling premium too. I mean, theta's your friend on that, and especially on those short-term contracts. If we open just at this level on Monday, these contracts are going to be probably about like 350 or so, 3-4, yeah, give or take a little bit. Theta is going to eat those things over the weekend. So we'll see what happens with those. And even those MP call sells from earlier in the week. I mean, you can see we had 42 days on those. Obviously, one, they ran a little bit, and then now they're just kind of sitting at that 125 right now. So, I mean, this person's going to be collecting some premium because they're not in trouble unless it gets over 31. So that's going to be a little bit. I see everybody talking about NBIS. I want to see what happened with that. Did it just spike? Oh, it's still running, and that one's odd too because we had those yesterday and just not moving a ton. 510. I mean, 411. I mean, you should see a little bit higher IV. High. Well, I mean, you got that IV up a little bit today too. Not as high as yesterday though. Yeah, it'd be nice if these contracts would move a little bit more, though. I want to look at these HUMs. Yeah, nice move on those. I mean, 69 all the way up to $1 so far. IWM, kind of a small little pop this morning. How about these COPs? 14 days on them. Carvana puts. I mean, those ran quick yesterday, 805, and they touched that 1030 quick, but chopping about 762, kind of 905-ish today. A little time on those. The APLDs, again, a massive gap up. That thing is just insane. BKR moved good. XYZ. Those coming back to life a little bit here, 43. Tesla, this poor whale exited yesterday. Got in, it was like 510, I believe, for the entry. Came up at 568 and then just started tanking. That whale smartly took off some of that flow. More roll puts from earlier in the week. This is why I always tell people you got to adjust up, because look at that. Whale 118 came up and hit 169 yesterday. Out at 8 cents for a loss. Like, that's stupidity. That's stupidity. Let's take a peek at those for you. So let's take a peek. You know what contracts they were off the top of your head, JT? Never mind. Never mind. Beat me to it. So 116.36 call. The stuff that came in the third, JT? Alright, let's take a peek. So you had ask side, and then, yeah, you had some bid side there, so I see what you mean. $478. Nice little move on those. So let's see. Okay, we had 700. Yeah, I mean, see, that's why you can't just assume all flow is all bid sides closing. Ugh. Excuse me, and all ask sides opening. You can't always assume that, but that's interesting too, because you got multi-leg here too. I want to see. Oh yeah, it shows 65% multi-leg. Yeah, so I mean, like, something like that's gonna obviously confuse probably anybody too. Let's see what's coming in here. More RXRXs for Lilu here. Some previous open interest though. Just want to come back and look. Yeah, definitely for sure an opening trade here. Yeah, now that this other flow's coming in Lilu, I'd probably say it looks like a pretty decent play. So, like, now you can see how this IV is more clean. Coming up here, perfect. This is probably a retail trader following this. But, yeah, perfect. Perfect flow there. Yeah, I know. It's scary swinging over the weekend. Scary swinging over the weekend. But I mean, at least 105 days, something like that. You have a lot of time on those. More hey, JT, look at that. More RKLBs for you. 7-3-30 call. Things just spiking. Would probably get 2,000 here. I just want to kind of do a little math here. 12. So we're going to say 500. I mean, like, that's what concerns me, because they could be getting out at the ask. I mean, your IV's spiked. You're up 10% on the day. You have to kind of make sure that carries over. But see, like, this is where it concerns me a little bit, because you see that IV drop. So they could be getting out here at the ask. You never know. And now here could be a retail person just hitting the ask. Never know. Like, yeah, for sure I'd want to check that. I probably wouldn't chase that one. But we could gap up 10% on Monday, and I could be completely wrong. See, what did you get? LNG. Okay, let's look at LNG here. Let's look at these LNGs. Let's pop it back up. So the LNG 620 to 55. 620 to 55. Here we go. I don't know why it's been goofy for me all like week, and then I have to come in here. Okay, here we go. So let's look at these. So not a ton of volume on this specific chain, but Good sign with that IV popping here. Big spread. I hope you got a good fill on that one, Karma, because that spread sucks. 4014. I'm going to say that one contract's not going to throw it off because most of your IV stays up. And I mean, that's such a wide spread there, too. Interesting on that one. I'm going to see what else there is on this. Expensive gambler, huh? Expensive gambler. Let's see. So you got some 68. Oh, man. Oh, tired, man. All right, let's see. So 613, 250, and 265. I mean, pretty ask-sidey there. Ask-sidey on the 255, obviously. Yeah, I mean, like you said, it's a lotto. I just don't like that wide spread. Crazy to do those wide spreads. Hey, and there's some more of those RKLBs, JT. So, okay, they're definitely opening these. I will probably make an educated guess and say that. Just kind of taking a peek here. Because at first, when we looked at the flow there, that IV started decreasing, so I almost thought they were maybe exiting at the ask there, but they added a lot more. Or, wait a minute. Wait a minute here. 650. Okay, they could be. I take that back. It looked like more came in. It was just that 600 at the first. Okay, ignore me completely. I'm going to lean until you check that open interest, that these could be getting closed at the ask. I mean, 300. So about, we'll say 600 there. About 1800 there. I mean, that volume's very, very close. And then again, looking at that, I mean, that IV dropped. So, yeah, I'd check this one on Monday. This could be a good example here as well. How we doing market-wise? Just still chopping. Let me pop in the tide here quick for everybody. So again, back to the bid side on everything. I gotta get Karma to get out of here so I can pop in that screenshot. Let's see, okay. Alright, let's pop this in. Now, it looks like that premium's kind of falling off here. I was like, why is the market not moving? But C calls. That looks kind of decent. Oh, a little pop already on those 60. Not a huge pop, but seeing some volume there. Oh, that IV drops a little bit. Not a fan. Up 2% on the day, too. Alright, what just came in? Intel 42 days. Already too much volume on here to kind of... Well, probably going to say... This is all opening, but let's just kind of look. Yeah, this is definitely opening volume. Just kind of like to see where that volume started to come in. So let's see, 2,000 there. 1,000, so just ads throughout. That one, not really an ad. Some volume coming off there. It's tough when there's that open interest already in there. Add. So some exchanging of hands there. Yeah. Let's look at the flow. Come here. Don't know how to click apparently. 3. So yeah, it pops. I mean, that's almost something where I'd almost treat it as a lotto, just because you got contracts switching hands a lot in there. If I gotta sit and think about it, I just pass on it. Let's take a peek at SOFI for you. All right. SOFI. I just figured it'd be smarter to just typing down the stocks that we're looking at, just so people can kind of know what we talked about. Let's see. So the 613.14.5 call right here. So a lot of volume today. Whoa, okay. Not big multi-leg. Just kind of looking for that volume and open interest here. 14,000, so about half added yesterday. I just want to look at yesterday's flow. Okay, there's just a ton of little stuff going on yesterday. So ask 21 came in at 24, 29. So okay, here's some of that volume. So tough here because I mean you got that IV dropping. There's your size. IV staying down there. IV drops again on more size there. 48.39 pops a little bit there. Comes up there. And that IV keeps kind of gravitating towards that 58.38, 58.39 after it even pops a little bit. I just don't like it being that mid and bid side flow in there. I'm just trying to, let's see. So IV pops then technically here. Some sweeps coming in here. Well, it's only one contract. 250. So that IV keeps dropping on that big size coming in. Whenever that size comes in, that kind of concerns me. Okay, let's come down here. Let's look at these repeated hits. So okay, that IV pops on these repeated hits then, and then you see it drop again here. Yeah, I mean, to me, that's I don't like the setup for the flow there. And again, obviously, IV up, and then 58.65. I thought it dropped. 58.91, then we drop. Yeah, that's a example, and especially when you're up almost 5% on the day. Yeah, that's I hate to say it. Probably would pass on these. Obviously, they're making a move right now, 29. They're running at 46, so obviously hindsight there, but that's just kind of looking at that flow feed. So, and again, it's not 100% going to be science and going to work every single time. This person could be bullish, but they're getting just multiple mid fills and bid fills too. So, I mean, we'll never know. We'll never know if they're fully bullish or what. It's what makes it kind of something to kind of watch. Okay, multi-legs coming in here. Look at Lotto VUZI. Do you what contract do you have there? Karma. All right. Let's take a peek here. July $3. Call or put? Call. Okay. Just looking here. $718.3 call. Is that the right one? It doesn't seem like it's a one that you'd kind of be pointing out to me. Seems a little low premium wise. You just want to see just the overall on that? Yeah, let me do this. I'm just gonna look at the overall flow here for you. Alright, let's do this. So I removed all that day's expiration. So this is $1,000 or more. So you got that bid side put here, a little more towards the bid side. Yeah, I mean, there's just not a ton of premium here where I'm kind of... That sticks out to me. I mean, that bid side put, we can take a peek at that. That came in yesterday. And nothing to really go around on that either. I mean, you have it all kind of coming in at once, so you don't get to get that flow where you can kind of look at your context clues. Let's take a peek. There was that call too that I saw. Bid side call. So that's today. So this is the one that you wanted me to kind of take a peek at. So yeah, to me it looks like they're selling the calls here. And again, obviously, really slow mover there. But yeah, good example there. And I mean, some of these like slower, yeah, not much on that one. Probably pass on that one. I mean, my filters are pretty much completely open on this. I mean, I've got everything wide open, no days expiration on there. So this is all your flow for the last like 3 days on this one. And even if I remove that premium, we'll see how much we get. I mean, this is all your little retail traders coming in here now. So, but some of those smaller stocks like that, you can find some good finds if like that's a big whale. Like if that was like a $50,000 premium on there, I'd be like, hey, that's pretty interesting there. All right, we got some MSTR. Okay, so let's look at these. Not coming in right at the ask, but let's take a peek. Take it over. These multi-leg? 21%. Yeah, I'd probably pass on those right away. But I mean, big spike in that IV there. Oh, what am I doing there? Let's see. Yeah, and with it being 21% multi-leg. Okay, so here's where that... Okay, so IVs there, and then you get a little more there. Yeah, I mean, they probably read as a buy to me, but that put premium's kind of starting to climb up there too. And you're not right at the ask, and you got that multi-leg, so I'd probably pass on those two. I mean, you got that volume. I want to see what that volume looks like from yesterday. So a lot of that volume from yesterday too. I have to definitely kind of take a peek at that. Because this is, let's see, 5,000 contracts. Kind of close. You'd want to see if that carries over. They could be closing a little there at that. It almost looks like... So we had set... I'm just kind of doing a little math here. 246... 57, about 8,000. So this candle's a little smaller than that, so could see them possibly taking a little profit. Again, it's hard to tell without that open interest change, and that's it. This is exactly why you see that I'm kind of looking for those fully. I can 100% tell you it's an opening trade because I don't know if this is going to carry over into Monday. Nobody does until, well, this person knows, but we won't until Monday, obviously. Let's take a peek at these INSMs. So again, another tough one right away, I'm going to say. Just want to see when this volume kind of came in. So it's definitely, let's see. So some little bid side stuff there. So like now, okay, this pops up here. IV stays up. So I mean that looks good, but it's just not a ton of size there, and you do have that previous open interest. Probably pass on something like that. And I saw that ETF flow go off, so GLD. Again, kind of almost in the middle, not huge size. I like to see more size on that ETF. It's also like, I mean, like these ARCs that we pointed out earlier today. I mean, right away you saw 4,700 contracts, another 1,000 coming in there. And those things moved pretty good today. One all the way up to 182. What a move on that. And like these TQQQs, I looked at a little bit earlier, and it wasn't that one. It was, let's see, my big premium guy right here. So 305, they're trading at 287, and passed on these because see that IV kind of just popping around and then dropping here at the end. So something like that I'm kind of avoiding. And this is what flow is most of the time. You're kind of just trying to find what's good, kind of sifting out all the bad stuff. And I know we were talking earlier about Tesla, and I think it was the 205, or was it the 215s? I think it was the 215s. So now hindsight again is going to be 50-50, and we were talking about, I was like, I don't like how this came in. I don't remember if it was you, Karma, that asked it like earlier in the day, but like I said, when you see that flow come in here, you see that drop in that IV, you're not right at the ask. I don't really have a lot of kind of flow coming in around that. Probably would have passed on it, and hindsight, it's a good thing you passed on that because 120 and they're trading at 61 now. Barring anything major over the weekend, obviously. How are we looking? Just Lilu, can you still see my screen? Oh, it might be you, Karma. Oops. Might be you. Just that I just hop back out and hop back into the live. Well, I'm not kicking you out. Just hop back in. Enjoy your weekend. I'll probably hang out here another couple minutes or so then. It's been kind of slow. And Lilu, if you got any other flow you want me to take a peek at, feel free to just toss it in the chat. There's not really much going on now. Enjoy the weekend, Karma. Pins flow. Let's take a peek. I'll take a peek at AES for you here. 1 second. I was just kind of taking a peek at this. I don't like that. All right, AES, and you said they were the 12, or 718-12 calls. 718-12 call. The ones that came in today, I'm guessing. Or, let's see. Okay. So right away, I'm going to tell you you're going to want to check that open interest on Monday. I can check it for you if you need me to. But it looks like that flow kind of came in yesterday, a big chunk of it. 21, so that whale would technically be up. 49.53. So let me pull an example here. I'm looking at the flow here quick for you too. I mean, this looks like a buy to me coming in here, but I have to check that on Monday. So like let me go to a save trade that I can find like a good example for you. So like, I'm just trying to find like a real, okay, so like these TLTs. So like this is a really good example. Like these came in on the 2nd. We only had 684 open interest contracts at the time. We had 17,000 contracts traded. So you can see 17,000 of that carrying over. And I'm just looking at that volume every day, and you can just see we're not really changing anything. And I think the visual helps a lot more. Like you look at your big candle here, you're not really seeing any big volume come off here until today. So now you're seeing about 4,200 contracts traded. So now like Monday, I would check that open interest. So my guess is this might drop to about 13,000 or so. So that would be telling you that whale's kind of selling some of those contracts and getting out. Now, like, let's say, just trying to find, like, this Queb whale. So, again, another good example here. So, back on the 4th, 32,000 contracts. We had 10,000 open. Actually, this might not be the best example of some open interest, but, like, you can see we had 26,000 contracts come in at that single time. So, we had 10,000 open interest. We don't, like, you can kind of go back and look, but you know for sure this is an opening contract. Just, you have 26,000 contracts. We only had 10,000 at the time. So, for sure this is an opening new position. So, like, just kind of looking at that volume-wise here, too, you can see they're still in because you're not seeing a lot of big, large candles that could be kind of signaling that they're closing their position, if that makes a little more sense. I like it more as a visual versus kind of reading that volume and open interest. And that just kind of comes with time in there. Even like these BKRs. Like this, you can see we had only 389 contracts open at the time. 2,600 come in yesterday. You can see that carry over into the 6th. And then just looking at that visual, here's your entry. And it has all your data here on that, in that little box. And you can just see we don't have a lot of that volume coming off. So you know that volume's still going to be there that next day. And you can see most of that carried over. And then you can see we've only had 122 contracts traded a day. So that whale's still in. So it's just kind of looking at that correlation between that volume and open interest and using that visual too. That helps you a little bit. Yeah, it's a learning process, like you said. So that pin's kind of interesting. But I might hop off here. I just kind of want to manage a couple of my positions and stuff, so I'll probably hop off here unless you got any other quick questions. Yeah, open interest will only update in the morning. That's the thing. So that's why I kind of try to find those larger volume whales. So, like, let's say you see something 20,000 contracts in a day against like 500 open interest contracts. You kind of know just math wise if there's just the one big entry on the day, most of that's going to carry over into that next day. And yeah, you have to wait for that open interest to update in the morning. But all right, I'm going to head out. You have a great weekend, Lilu. Thanks for staying and hanging out, and surprising it was so quiet today. But have a great weekend. I'll have all of our fun stuff up for next week here shortly. Have a great one. Talk to you later.